Think for a moment about those really basic everyday things we do. Tying your shoelaces, maybe writing your name, or remember learning to ride a bike. That wobbly moment.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
For most of us, those skills just become automatic, right? We don't even think about them.
Mm-hmm.
But what if those simple movements felt like this huge challenge, like a constant uphill battle every single day?
That's a really powerful way to put it.
Imagine, just buttoning a shirt or using a knife and fork being a source of real struggle.
And that is the reality for probably more children than many people realize. It points to a condition that, well, despite being quite common, often slips under the radar.
Right.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into dyspraxia. You might also hear it called developmental coordination disorder, or DCD.
DCD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might not be a household name, but its impact, it's really profound for the kids and the families living with it.
And here's something that really jumped out at me from the sources, the numbers. Some studies suggest, up to 5 or 6% of kids might have it.
That's right. It's surprisingly prevalent.
But the real kicker is a lot of those kids just aren't diagnosed. They go through school, maybe their whole lives, without that understanding.
Exactly. And that's a huge, often missed piece of the puzzle in development, isn't it? It can really change a child's path if we don't get what's going on.
It really can.
So, yeah, our mission today is to kind of pull back the curtain. We want to explore what dyspraxia actually is, look at what we understand about why it happens, pinpoint the signs, the things parents or teachers might see, and crucially, talk about how we can help these kids not just cope, but really thrive.
So if you're listening, maybe you're a parent seeing some of these things, or you work with kids, or maybe you're just curious, like us, about how learning and movement work. This deep dive is for you.
Definitely.
We're going to hopefully unpack some things and maybe challenge a few assumptions along the way.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's get into it. Dyspraxia, at its core, it's about movement and coordination, right?
Primarily, yes. It's much more than just, being a bit clumsy sometimes.
It's not just tripping over things occasionally.
No. It's a real neurological struggle with planning and then actually carrying out motor tasks. Think about catching a ball. Your brain has to plan it, sequence the movements, make it smooth. For a child with dyspraxia, that whole process, from thinking about it to doing it, is significantly harder.
And the sources really emphasize these are like everyday actions we barely think about.
Exactly. Things we take completely for granted. A child trying to tie their shoes, it's like their fingers just won't follow the plan no matter how hard they try. Or trying to write neatly and the letters just go everywhere. Riding a bike, buttoning that shirt like you said, even using cutlery properly at dinner. These can be major daily hurdles.
Not about effort then.
Not at all. It's not a lack of trying. It's a genuine difficulty in the brain's ability to orchestrate the movement to get the message through correctly.
That idea of it feeling like climbing a mountain must be so real for them. What does that constant struggle do to a child, emotionally, long term?
Oh, that's such a key point. It goes way beyond the physical. Imagine facing that frustration day in, day out. It can really lead to low self-esteem, maybe anxiety.
Yeah, I can see that.
And a tendency to just avoid things they find hard, right? So maybe they shy away from sports or group activities. It impacts social stuff, learning, their whole well-being. It must be exhausting, physically and mentally.
Okay, so this is crucial then. It's not about muscle weakness.
Absolutely critical distinction.
Their muscles are fine. They have the strength.
Yep. The muscles themselves are perfectly capable. The issue isn't there. The challenge lies in how the brain sends the instructions.
Okay.
It's like a communication glitch, you could say. An issue with the brain's central command for planning, sequencing, and then executing those movements smoothly.
Wow. Understanding that really shifts how you'd think about helping, doesn't it?
Completely. Because if it's not weak muscles, then what is causing it?
Right.
Well, scientists believe it's rooted in differences in how the brain develops. Specifically, those areas managing motor planning and coordination.
So it's neurological.
Exactly. Think of it like the brain's wiring for movement is just a bit different. It affects how those signals get organized and sent out. It's a difference, not a defect.
And this next point feels so important, especially for parents. It tackles a big misconception.
Which one?
That it's somehow caused by laziness or, parents not teaching their kids properly.
Oh, absolutely. Let's hit that one hard.
The sources are really clear. Parents, please hear this, it is not your fault.
Not even slightly.
Dyspraxia is neurological. It comes from how the brain is wired. It says nothing about your parenting or how much your child is trying.
That is such a vital message. Parents often carry so much guilt, and it's completely unfounded here. We need to let that go.
Definitely.
And there are other myths too, right? Things we really need to clear up.
Like what?
Well, first, that idea that, oh, they're just clumsy.
Right, we touched on that.
Yeah, they might look clumsy, but it's not the same thing. Their brain is genuinely struggling to organize the movement. It's consistent, it's underlying, it's not just tripping over the rug, it's a motor planning issue.
So it's the process itself that's difficult, not just the outcome.
Precisely. Then there's the myth. Don't worry, they'll outgrow it.
I've heard that one.
Yeah, and it's tricky because it often means people delay getting support. Dyspraxia doesn't just vanish with age.
But they can learn strategies.
Absolutely. With the right support, therapy, and strategies, kids learn really effective ways to manage the challenges. They develop skills, they find workarounds, they build independence. But the underlying difference remains.
Okay, and the last big one.
That it somehow means they aren't intelligent.
Oh, that's a harmful one.
Totally false. Unequivocally. Intelligence is not affected by dyspraxia. Many, many children with dyspraxia are incredibly bright, creative, great problem solvers. Their strengths might just lie in areas that don't demand complex motor skills.
So important not to mix up physical coordination with brain power.
Absolutely crucial.
Okay, those clarifications are huge. So knowing all that, let's switch gears. For parents or teachers listening, what are the actual observable signs? The things that might make you think, hang on, maybe this is more than just a phase.
Right, because sometimes the signs seem unrelated until you see the pattern.
Exactly.
Okay, so you might notice a child having real, persistent trouble learning to tie their shoelaces long after their peers have got it.
Okay.
Or maybe struggling with zippers on jackets or using scissors. Fine motor skills are often a big flag.
And handwriting, too, you mentioned.
Yes, very common. Handwriting might be consistently messy, very large or very small, poorly spaced. They might grip the pencil really awkwardly or press down incredibly hard, even after lots of practice.
What about bigger movements? Gross motor skills.
Yeah, you might see struggles there, too. Difficulty with sports, maybe catching or throwing a ball, finding it hard to balance perhaps on a scooter or during PE. Or just general awkwardness in playground games like skipping or hopping.
I imagine mealtimes could be tricky too.
Definitely. A child might take a lot longer to eat because handling cutlery is difficult. It can make meals quite stressful for everyone. And another thing, they might seem to get tired really easily after physical activity, not necessarily because they're unfit, but because the mental effort needed to coordinate everything is just so much higher for them.
That makes sense. It's exhausting work.
It really is. And beyond the purely physical, you might see challenges with organization, like their school bag is always a mess. They forget things or struggle to remember sequences, like the steps for getting ready in the morning. Even spatial awareness can be affected, bumping into furniture or people more often than you'd expect.
Wow, okay. Hearing them listed like that, you really start to see how things like messy writing and, say, difficulty catching a ball aren't separate issues.
Exactly. They can all point back to that core challenge with motor planning and coordination. It's seeing that underlying thread.
To make this even more real, let's talk about some stories. Because the impact isn't just theoretical, is it?
No, it's very real, day to day.
Our sources shared a story about a girl, Naomi. Apparently, she loved stories, loved reading, but writing, she hated it. Her handwriting was so messy, it actually made her cry in class. Just pure frustration. And it wasn't because she didn't know the answers.
Right.
Her brain was way ahead, but her hands just couldn't keep up. Imagine feeling that disconnect inside yourself.
That paints such a clear picture of that internal struggle, doesn't it? It's heartbreaking. I worked with a boy, Tunde, whose story is probably quite familiar to some listeners.
Okay.
He just avoided sports completely. Anything physical, he'd find an excuse. And other kids, we know how kids can be, they teased him for being clumsy.
Which we now know is totally missing the point.
Totally. And that teasing just made him withdraw more, obviously.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing was, once we started giving him very structured activities, things broken down, lots of encouragement, focusing on his pace.
Yeah.
He started to change. He actually began to enjoy moving his body, finding things he liked, not because he had to compete, but just for fun, at his own level.
That's fantastic. These stories aren't just one-offs, are they? They really show the emotional side, the practical impact on confidence, and just engaging with the world.
Absolutely. And they underscore why understanding this and getting support early is so incredibly important. They're windows into what it's like.
So connecting this back, What are the practical things parents or caregivers can actually do, moving from understanding to action?
Yes, great question. Because there are definitely strategies that can make a huge difference.
You mentioned something earlier about micromastery, focusing on small wins.
Exactly. It's about breaking tasks down. Instead of overwhelming a child with, say, the whole process of tying shoes.
Which is actually quite complex when you think about it.
It really is. So teach one tiny step at a time, master that loop, celebrate that success, then move to the next small step. Build momentum slowly.
And adaptive tools. You mentioned Velcro shoes.
Yes. They're not cheating or giving up. They're enabling independence.
Makes sense.
Think chunky pencils for easier grip, those Velcro shoes to skip the lace frustration, maybe special cutlery with built-up handles. These tools bridge the gap. They provide a way to succeed while the underlying skills develop.
Less frustration, more doing.
Exactly. And make practice fun. Forget boring drills that just highlight the difficulty.
Right.
Play games. Games involving balance walking along a crack in the pavement, using a balance board, throwing and catching soft balls, building with Legos or blocks works on fine motor and spatial skills. Keep it light, keep it engaging.
So it doesn't feel like therapy, it feels like play.
That's the goal. And crucially, encourage. Don't compare them to siblings or classmates.
Oh, that's a hard one for parents sometimes.
It is, but it's so important. Celebrate the effort. Notice the small improvements. Wow, that line was much straighter. Or, you almost caught it that time. Focus on their progress, their unique journey.
And what about professional help? You mentioned occupational therapy.
Yes, OTs are often key players here. They're experts in analyzing daily tasks and figuring out where the breakdown is happening.
Okay.
They can suggest specific exercises, recommend the right adaptive tools, and work with the child in a really structured way to build those motor planning and coordination skills. It provides that specialized support.
That sounds invaluable. And underpinning all of this, patience.
Oh, absolutely. Patience is paramount. Progress might be slow, there might be setbacks, but every single small win is genuinely a victory worth celebrating. Each step forward builds that confidence, that independence.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Definitely.
But these challenges, they don't just happen at home, do they? School must present a whole different set of hurdles.
Oh, absolutely. School can be really tough. Think about it, so much relies on skills that might be difficult. Handwriting, PE, even just organizing your desk or materials for a group project.
Yeah, it can really put them on the spot.
It can amplify the struggles and make them feel very self-conscious in front of their peers.
So how can teachers help make school a more supportive place?
Teachers can make a massive difference. The sources suggest things like allowing extra time for written work that's often crucial.
Okay.
And, really importantly, not penalizing a child for messy handwriting if it's due to dyspraxia, finding other ways for them to show what they know.
Like oral answers. Or using a keyboard.
Exactly. Let them demonstrate their understanding without the motor skill barrier getting in the way. It's about accommodating the need, not lowering the academic expectation.
From parents have a role here too in advocating.
A huge role. Proactively talking to the school is key. Ask about getting an individual education plan or IEP or whatever support system the school has. This plan can outline specific accommodations, maybe preferential seating, access to assistive tech like a laptop, or modifications for PE class, setting up the environment for success.
So if a parent is listening and some of these signs are ringing bells, when is the moment to say, okay, I need to seek professional advice?
I'd say if you're noticing persistent struggles, if the coordination issues or difficulties with daily tasks seem, beyond the typical range for their age, and importantly, if it's causing noticeable frustration for the child or impacting their participation, then it's definitely worth talking to your pediatrician or seeking out an occupational therapist evaluation. Don't hesitate to ask the questions.
Better to check it out.
Always. And echoing what we said earlier, the earlier the support starts, the better.
Why is early intervention so critical?
Because early strategies can head off so much frustration before it really takes root. It helps build confidence early on, preventing that cycle of avoidance and low self-esteem. It just gives them a much stronger foundation for learning and, life.
It sets them up for success rather than constant struggle.
Precisely.
We've talked a lot about the practical challenges, the school side.
Yeah.
But we have to touch on the emotional piece again.
Absolutely vital.
Because kids with dyspraxia, they often feel really embarrassed, don't they? Especially if peers are teasing them about being clumsy or slow.
Yeah.
That feeling of being different can be really painful.
Incredibly painful, and that's why the emotional support is just as crucial, maybe even more so than the physical strategies.
What's the message parents need to give?
Consistently, lovingly, remind your child. Different doesn't mean less. Their brain works differently, and that comes with its own unique strengths too. Their struggles don't define their worth or their intelligence. Help them build that self-acceptance.
That's powerful.
It really is.
And for the parents listening, maybe feeling overwhelmed or isolated by this.
Yes, it's so important for them to hear. You are not alone. So many families are navigating this. There are communities, online groups, resources, amazing professionals.
Reach out.
Yes, reach out. Find your support network, because with the right help, these kids absolutely do thrive. You don't have to figure this all out by yourself.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. The big takeaway.
The core message is, dyspraxia isn't just clumsiness. It's not laziness. It's a neurological difference affecting how the brain plans and directs movement. Complex, often hidden, but really impactful.
But there's hope. That's the other key message, right?
Absolutely. Hope and empowerment. With patience, the right strategies, the right tools, and that unwavering support system, kids can gain so much confidence and independence. They find their way.
They learn to navigate their world successfully.
They do. So if you are a parent listening, please know that progress is always possible, and you really don't have to walk this path alone. And maybe this leaves us all with a question to ponder. How could a deeper, wider understanding of conditions like dyspraxia actually shift how we all approach supporting every child's unique way of developing?
How could we make sure no child feels like they're climbing that mountain all by themselves?
Exactly.
That's a really powerful thought to end on. Thank you.
Yeah.
We really hope this deep dive has shed some light for you. Please, if you found this helpful, share it. Share it with other parents, teachers, anyone who might benefit.
The more awareness, the better the support.
Exactly. The more we all understand, the better we can help every child reach their full potential.